Hello, YouTube. The formerly deranged clown. Well, actually, I'm still deranged, but my hair is just a little bit more presentable, I suppose. Um, I just want to cover some of the tricks and warning signs that someone is trying to network around and isolate people. And this is something I've been thinking about while I have this cold. I've done a previous video about it. Just got this horrible cold. I'm about 70% of my way through it, and hopefully, um, you know, it'll be taken care of. I have an appointment with the doc tomorrow to see what can be done. Anyways, so what are some of the warning signs of someone trying to isolate other people? And I give these in the spirit of saying that, not everyone who wants to be your friend is a raging psychopath that is, a full-on member of my overly optimistic fan club. All right. I don't want to create that paranoia because that's not true. But it's just warning signs to look out for. And I think there's a few. Number one, when they talk to you, is it a conversation or is it an interview? I'm reading a book right now, and Butterworth's investigative series book is called Interviews and Interrogations. And in it, it talks about how an interview is a conversation with a purpose. Now, when I dealt with a certain person, name starts with a B, um, before he was, this guy was just random and crazy. He was like the village idiot, still is, as far as I'm concerned. But just the most random off the wall stuff. And I would just listen and just, yeah, that's nice. Let it go in one ear and out the other and be done with it. But then suddenly the conversation started to get very pointed. That's what I called it. Until I read that book, then I realized, no, those weren't conversations. Those were interviews, because an interview is a conversation with a purpose. That purpose is to get information. So if you're talking to someone and they just seem to not have normal, relaxed conversations about the weather or sports or, whatnot, maybe even politics, or if they just seem to have this very aggressive agenda to get information from you or to get you to do something, then that's a warning sign. That's an interview. Another thing is if they do not let you stop talking, because the point of an interview, according to the book that I'm reading, is you do not let the person stop talking because you need information. In a normal conversation, you may lose interest, right? You may say, yeah, that's good. I'll talk about sports, but, I got to worry about, sorry about that. I hate colds. I got to start worrying about, my combine broke down and the harvest is next week. So, yeah, I'm just going to stop this conversation because I got to think about that, right? People respect that. But if people don't respect that, if they keep trying to have you talking, then that's a warning sign. That's when it's an interview. When they're always pumping for information, they're always looking for information. And even if you say, I don't want to tell you that, then that's an interview. And when you tell someone, hey, you know what, I'm just not interested in telling you that, a conversation would be like, okay. An interview would be follow-up questions. Well, why? Why? Well, tell me. That's an interview. And if all you are having is interviews with people, then that's a good sign that they are trying to groom you And that's the only word that I can think of. I know that carries a lot of justifiably negative connotations, but I think that is also applicable here. They're trying to groom you to be a flying monkey, to be, that's a phrase that victims of narcissism know, all right? Flying monkeys, Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch with her flying monkeys that go out and do all her dirty work for her. That's where that comes from. They're trying to groom you to be their flying monkey because ultimately they're cowards. They do not want to be held accountable. They still want the action to happen, but they do not want to be around when it happens. They go up to you, they groom you, they interview you, they try to get information, they put you up to things, and then when stuff happens, then they just scurry away, get what they want, and that's that. Another thing, so that's the first thing. The second thing I've noticed is just this absolute diametric thinking, all right? If you're talking to someone and they're always telling you how horrible this person is, this person is the most vile, evil, despicable creature to blight the face of this earth, and they have zero good qualities, and they're just the most awful person. Oh, by the way, they're the most wonderful person. Or they may say, well, I'm imperfect, but I'm still wonderful. That is another warning sign, because that's a reflection of their thought process. And if you think you can maybe try to talk to them about it, or try to convince them that, well, you know what, people are a complicated bag of things and they have good qualities and bad qualities, they're not going to listen. They're too lost in their la la land. I was conversing with a person, name starts with B, and telling them, about some of the stuff that I've been through, which he knew about. And it just absolutely frightened me how thoroughly convinced he was in his response. He just mockingly repeated back what I said, like, what do you know? Okay. These people do not have a conscience, but they still think they're the most wonderful person ever. That's a warning sign. So if you befriend a person or find yourself on good terms with the person, and then someone else suddenly befriends you, and they start saying, hey, what do you know about this person? Hey, can you do this for me? That's a warning sign. I think another warning sign would be not being able to have a normal conversation just about the weather, sports, politics, the job, the family, but always focusing on one topic. And that's just not normal for, small towns, Yeah, you do talk about people, but it's not sustained, and it's not, driven. All right. Another thing, and this is going to be the final one, religion. Doesn't matter what the religion is. It does not matter one whit. All right. You could be pagan. You could be Christian. You could be Jewish. You could be Muslim. You could be agnostic. You could be Gnostic. You could be Wiccan. You could be, doesn't matter what the religion is. That is absolutely, completely, totally separate from everything. Even the religion of secularism, that is a religion, by the way. It's a civil religion, but that's another topic for another day. Religion means absolutely nothing in this context. If you are aware of that religion and the tenets, and you see them corrupting ideas that that they hold near and dear to their heart, to win points in a discussion, or to what's the word I'm trying to find here? inflict mental trauma on someone, and if they're willing to go so far as to attack their religion and its doctrine, with them knowing that they're doing that, that's something else. Because a normal person in a normal conversation is going to say, not going to do it, right? It's religious, near and dear to my heart. And yeah, I'm not going to go against that. But if they do go against that, then there's something doing. Recently, I was conversing with someone, and we were talking about various religious topics, and they had some very blasphemous things to say. And I told them, I said, you don't have the right to say that. None of us do. We're all mortal. I didn't say it like that, but I was like, where do you get the authority to decide who gets that or doesn't? You don't make that call. That call's made above, not down here. It's made above. And he was trying to attack me on some very personal things that I hold very near and dear to my heart, that I don't talk about, that I hold them that near and dear to my heart. And I told him, I says, I'm not going to tell you what they are because it's not important. It doesn't involve you. It's near and dear to my heart, and I'm not going to tell you. It's too sacred. And then he proceeded to act like, well, I decreed that you cannot receive that. That's a warning sign, not only of someone you cannot trust, but that's just horrible. Okay, so anyways, that's all I got to say. I got some stuff to do. Yeah, gotta kick this stupid cold. Man, this cold is just knocking me through a loop. Holy moly, woof. Dadgum. It's bad. It's a bad one. And I should be over it here in a few days, but it's just taking a lot of cold medicine, a lot of sleep, and yeah, I'll get past it. Alrighty, end of recording.